What is up, everyone? Gym fails are very common and often humorous to see in the world of social media. Today I will be reacting to some and provide some advice to help improve your performance. Before we begin, thank you to OE Fitness for providing these clips. I will link his channel in the description. Alright, let's begin.
Like this guy is here to empty.
Oh my god, how much weight is there? Hold up, I gotta check this. So there's 10 plates, so that's I think 945 pounds, assuming the barbell's 45. So a lot of people don't know this kind of training, but there is a thing called isometric training or doing static holds. Static holds are great to provide in your training because you will get used to heavier weights. This is beneficial for squat walkouts, front squat walkouts, or bench press. All you need to do is just hold the weight for about 10 to 15 seconds and you will get used to the feeling. This is to train your central nervous system so your body is prepared for the heavier weights once you get stronger. If you are new to static holds, I would recommend doing 5% of your 1 rep max. Even just doing your 1 rep max will help. And then every 2 weeks, progressive overload from there. However, one thing I should say, this is not something that beginners should be doing. Once you have 1 to 2 years of lifting under your belt with good technique, that's when you can do static holds. But in the case of this guy, he doesn't even get the weight off the rack, so this is just way too much.
This guy was bench pressing heavy weights alone, and it was a bold decision of him to do that.
Totally.
He never skips toe wiggle day.
Okay, first off, this guy is very lucky that he came out of this alive. You can see that he has no safety bars at all and he's using collars. And when you're using collars for bench press, squat, etc., the weights are not going to slide off. And the only time it does slide off is in rare cases. So this means when you fail a weight, you cannot slide the weights off when you're stuck at the bottom. And this can risk serious injuries or even death. Unfortunately, we saw this happen recently with one man from China. He was bench pressing 265 pounds and unfortunately the bar landed on his neck. The exact same thing could have happened to this guy, but luckily he was making sure that it would not happen. But because he could not slide the weights off, and you can even see him trying to do that, he was stuck under there for a while. But I cannot stress this enough. If you are bench pressing, make sure you have safety bars. If the barbell slips off your hand or if it's stuck on your neck, you are risking your life.
This woman never skips spine day. First she tries a PR before going to the ER.
Oh god. Oh god. Is she gonna vomit? That is a very slow rep. Is she gonna vomit? She's really pushing it. I'm surprised she didn't even vomit. Oh, she got lightheaded. So let's have a look at the start of her lift. So first off, she does not take the time to straighten her back. Her back was rounded before and during the deadlift. She also does not pull slack out of the bar. She instead kind of yanks it from the floor instead of wedging herself against the bar. Pulling slack will help you get into the right position while allowing you to keep your back tight and your glutes engaged. Because she is deadlifting with a rounded back, not only does she risk bulging one of her discs, but it also kills the efficiency of the deadlift. She is least likely to lock out her deadlifts, as that does require a neutral spine to lock out comfortably. If your low back is rounding when deadlifting, then stop lifting the weights. There's no reason to get injured over a sloppy personal best that will not benefit you. So a lot of people like to make fun of those who skip leg, but I personally think we should be educating them on why training your legs is so important. The lower part of the human body is the most important foundation to life. We need our legs to walk, run, pick up things, and be independent. If you know elderly people who are too weak to walk, that could have been avoided if they trained their legs when they were younger. Training your legs does improve testosterone, which is a major contributor to muscle growth and recovery. So that means you can gain more strength and size to your upper body when consistently training legs. It also helps with cortisol, which is a steroid in the human body that controls adrenaline and stress. It also increases your metabolism, so it will make it harder to gain fat. When you have weak legs but a strong upper body, you actually increase risk of injury, especially if you're doing cardio. Because your legs are too weak to maintain your upper body, you risk injuring the joints in your legs and your spine because of the pressure of the upper body. So, never skip leg day.
This workout is called Instagram Sumo Calf Races with the TikTok Spine Superset.
God. I hope she's okay after that. Because this is on a Smith machine, the movement of the squat is already predetermined. And as she lets her hips move forward, she is now off balance, which is why the weights fell on her. Now it looks like she was trying to re-rack the weights, showing that the pin she was trying to rack on is too high because she had to calf raise the weight. She will be better off with the pin below the one she tried to use. She put a lot of pressure on her spine from this fall, her lower back rounded from the impact, which could have bulged a disc. I don't know if she got injured in this video, but the chances were very high.
The guy on the bench is not the one who's lifting. He's actually spotting his friend who's doing one-armed shoulder shrugs. What a good friend he is.
A very strong friend indeed. Although this high of an arch is not necessary, having an arch on the bench press is super important. Your lower back, the lumbar spine, naturally curves inward. Allowing your back to stay neutral when bench pressing, so arching your lower back, will decrease the strain you put on your shoulders. It will increase activation on your pectoral muscles, so the chest muscles. It will decrease risk of injury, and it will overall help you bench press with better technique. Now I understand why a lot of people do not like excessive arching. It is because of those horrendous 1-inch range of motion bench presses that we see online. But in my opinion, the range of motion in this clip is not that bad. So, you have an approval from me.
And on the other hand, there's this natural man with his Popeye muscles. This is not a tumor, this is a tumor.
That's one funky looking bicep. So some people may think this person tore his bicep tendon off the bone. He actually hasn't. This guy simply has a very small bicep muscle but very long bicep tendons. Having a bicep like this solely depends on the person's genetics. Some people will have long bicep muscles and short tendons, and vice versa. However, those who have been born with small biceps should not give up on bicep training though, despite having the small muscle. You still have the opportunity to make it peak more or poke out more in comparison to someone who has a lengthy muscle. And also, this will not affect strength either. Some of the best arm wrestlers, strict curlers, and even some bodybuilders do not have a lengthy bicep muscle either, but still are successful in that field.
Here we have this woman already training for February 14th. With her exercises, she turns Pizza Planet into a seafood market.
14th.
At least she looks like she's having a great time.
Oh my god. I don't think I need to say much about this one. I'm very positive those exercises will not help you build muscle.
Never skip knee day. Every day is knee day for this woman. She is quarter repping so hard, even her quarter reps are doing quarter reps. People are confused when they see her lift at the gym, but all she is doing is training to change tires at Goodyear.
So leg press is something that gets a lot of unnecessary controversy. A lot of people like to assume one is ego lifting without understanding the person. Many people cannot do a desired range of motion due to hip mobility. This is the same thing with squats. Some people cannot squat below parallel because of hip mobility, ankle mobility, or both. And if they force themselves to, their low back will start rounding, which can also happen on the leg press. In the case of this video, there isn't a lot of bending in the knees, so there isn't going to be a lot of beneficial muscle growth doing this, despite the weight. So my suggestion is to work on hip mobility, assuming that is the limiting factor, and then lower the weights and work on getting more tension on the legs by improving range of motion.
This woman here was doing one set of digging for gold when she realized that a man is staring at her. She called him out on social media saying Grandpa wasn't even trying to hide it. But if you look at her, you can see that she also wasn't even trying to hide it.
So let's take our focus away from the girl and onto the grandpa. Clearly he is distracted due to the girl deadlifting. And when you are distracted from doing a set, this kills the efficiency of the set. There will be a lack of mind-muscle connection and a higher chance of losing form. You can see the grandpa isn't even focusing on the tricep pushdowns. He is kind of just pulling it up and down without putting any tension on the triceps. Although his form isn't bad, if he put more emphasis on the reps and focused on his set, he would find more success on the tricep pushdowns.
Today we are going to be learning about the importance of knowing your limits and not skipping brain day.
I agree. Oh god, he's not gonna try, is he? He's gonna try. And he's doing it on socks on a slippery. Okay, he's putting them back on. Not as strong as the girl. I think that's when he realized the weights were real. And then he actually tries to lift the weights. with terrible form. So to start off, this man does not warm up on deadlifts. He goes straight to the weight that he cannot come close to lifting. This will increase risk of tearing or straining a muscle and increase improper technique. You can also see how high his hips are in comparison to his sternum, which is almost facing the ground. Another thing to note is to not wear Nike flip-flops. Nike are very known for having very soft cushions, very soft paddings in their shoes. If you are wearing a shoe with soft padding and proceed to lift weights that require standing, you are actually losing balance. Your feet play a vital role in stabilization, and when your feet are in a soft area, they cannot stabilize at their best and will also increase risk of injury. Make sure you're wearing shoes that have a hard surface or go barefoot.
This guy got shocked by a text message of a girl. Now it's time to redirect the shock to the muscles. But he doesn't need a text message to curl no weight.
Oh no, he's reading all that. Although very humorous, and I pray this guy doesn't become a virgin for life, this guy is also doing preacher curls properly. What people don't know is that the bottom part of a bicep focused curl is actually the most important for biceps growth. The same can be said for when you're doing normal bicep curls standing, either with a barbell or dumbbell. Getting the best stretch at the bottom will improve bicep growth, assuming you're not swinging the weights, taking away the tension at the bottom, or in the case of preacher curls, not doing a weight too heavy for the bicep tendons to handle. Alright, that will now conclude the reaction video. Hopefully you learned something new, and hopefully I helped improve your training. If you guys did like this video, please let me know in the comment section down below. I would like to hear your thoughts. But anyways, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you all later.